Hey, what's up? It's Jake. Hey, I was watching something online today. It was a news story about a girl. I don't know how old the girl was. She might have been 18. She was old enough to drive and have, a couple of 14-year-old girls in the back seat. She was driving while rapping along to some music, and she was like Instagramming it or Snapchatting it, or maybe it was Facebook Live. Whatever it was, she was live on her phone, recording herself, rapping along to this music. She's not holding on to the steering wheel. She's making hand gestures and flipping off the camera and all this stuff. And she wrecked her car because she wasn't paying attention. And I guess she was under the influence of something. The girls in the back seat weren't buckled. One of them was thrown out of the car and was killed. And it turns out this was this girl's little sister. Now, the story here, I guess, is that the girl is possibly being charged for manslaughter, and people are kind of torn about it. On one hand, there's people who are saying that this was a total accident. She shouldn't be prosecuted. She's already suffered enough because she lost her sister. On that note, I get it. I get where that perspective comes from. However, I think there needs to be an example set for other kids to understand that it's super dangerous to, number one, to be under the influence of any substance and operate a vehicle, but to be under the influence and to be not paying attention, trying to live record something that you're doing in the car other than paying attention to the road and stuff. I think that's potentially very dangerous. And in addition to the people saying that it's an accident, they're saying that it's not the girl's fault, that the other girls in the car weren't buckled and everything like that. An accident is something that happens unexpectedly. I think it's easy to expect the worst when you're driving under the influence and you're not holding onto the steering wheel and you don't have a seatbelt on and you're not paying attention to the road and all those kinds of things. I think that is the antithesis of the word accident. That is criminal negligence. But anyways, so the flip side of it is that people are saying that there should be a very stiff penalty for any type of recording while you're in a vehicle and stuff like that. Right now I'm driving and I'm making this video, and I get it. I get where people are coming from, thinking that it should just be illegal across the board. What I'm thinking is that here I am recording this video, my hand is on the steering wheel, my other hand isn't on the steering wheel, but it's not holding the camera. I'm not focused on holding the camera. I'm not even looking at the camera for the most part. I'm driving as if I would any other time. If the camera wasn't there, it's not like I'd be 10 and 2 on the steering wheel the whole way and all that kind of stuff. I would be driving just like I am right now, pretty casually, just focused on the road, focused on kind of keeping awareness of deer and different things that might jump out on the road, looking for other motorists, looking for people on bicycles, stuff like that. In other words, paying attention, being a responsible driver. In this particular setup, it feels very much to me the same as if I had a passenger and we were just having a conversation. That's how I view this. That's how I think it works. It works because I'm just having a casual conversation. I'm not focused on looking at the camera. I'm not focused on how many people are watching, and it's not live. When you're trying to do something live, you're focused more on making sure it's right, making sure it's perfect. I do a lot of cuts and things like that. If I cough, or if something happens on the road, there's lots of times, you don't see it in the videos, but there's lots of times where something might jump out in the road, an animal or something, or another driver will cut me off on the interstate, or there'll be an accident and the traffic will be stopped and stuff like that, and I have to slam on my brakes. There are times where things happen and I'm not distracted by the camera. I'm paying attention. I'm aware of everything that's going on. If you're trying to entertain through the camera, focusing on the camera and looking at the camera and dancing for the camera and rapping for the camera and all that stuff, I think that's when you run into problems. but I definitely don't think it should be made illegal to drive around with a camera on your dashboard, or in this case hanging from my rearview mirror. I definitely don't think that there should be a blanket policy for all people, because there clearly are times when that's a legitimate issue, but there are other times where people like me can drive around with a camera, and it's no different than driving around without the camera. Have a good day. Try to stay positive. Hang loose.